Hey everybody, Wendy Sellers here, the HR lady. Thanks for tuning in. I'm here today just talking at a high level of a very hot topic regarding DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. There is so many things going on and it keeps changing. So I definitely encourage you to start following an employment attorney in your industry or your state or both, so that you can find out when things are changing or more information is coming to light. So affirmative action was taken away by the current administration, and so many people were thinking, all right, then we don't need to have diversity or inclusion. We can discriminate. No, that's not the case. Title VII is still there, so all of those laws still currently apply, and it's not necessarily the end of diversity, equity, and inclusion after the end of affirmative action. Can we still have DEI in 2025 and beyond? The answer is yes. Now, first of all, I'm going to go over a little bit of something that was said by a former EEOC commissioner on a website, on a webinar, and then also I will give you links in the bio here or in the description to give you more information that you could download where other EEOC commissioners, teams have all gotten together saying, okay, let's break this down even more. Not saying they agree with the changes, but they're saying even with the changes, you can still have DEI in the workplace if it's done smart, if it's inclusive, and if it's legal. So it needs to be legal and it needs to be valuable to the organization. Inclusion doesn't mean unlawful preference. So that is something to understand what inclusion means. The law has not changed, as I just mentioned, but scrutiny has. So it is now time to refresh your DEI actions, policies, and practices, not necessarily retreat. So we are not going to be okay with quotas. Hint, we never really were. And we are not going to be okay with exclusion. Hint, we never really were. Weren't supposed to be anyways, because if you were doing it wrong. What is okay, though, still is to broaden the pipelines, meaning keep looking outside the immediate peripheral vision of the organization to find amazing talent, to keep amazing talent, to produce and keep promoting amazing talent, no matter what they look like, sound like, where they're from, age, sex, gender. You got the picture, right? My advice to you and their advice to you is to keep using inclusive language such as pronouns. That is incredibly inclusive. Keep training everyone on what the concept of civility and respect means. So not just anti-harassment, anti-discrimination, but really what it means to be civil and respectful in our organization today. Definitely, if you have affinity groups, keep them open, but make sure that they're open to anybody attending or joining. Review your goals, your SMART goals, your KPIs, any kind of metrics that your company has, from hiring to recruiting, all the way down to the profitability. Make sure there's no legal risk there in the DEI area, also formerly the affirmative action area. Use demographic data, so personal data, to inform, hey, what's going on in an organization, not to make decisions based off of. And training should change people's behavior, how they act and react in your organization. It doesn't change their beliefs. It needs to change their behavior so they align properly with your company mission, vision, and values, your expected behaviors in the workplace. If you want to have a diverse and inclusive organization, one that is focused on belonging and accessibility as well, whether you're focusing on equity or equality or another E word, do realize that DEI is still legal. It's still important. It's very, very important. It's still doable. Just do it right. Now, last thing I want to say here, and this is a big one, so hang on. In 2024, the current Equal Employment Opportunity Commission acting chair of 2025 did a podcast interview, and in that interview, she suggested 11 ways to diversify your workforce without engaging in unlawful discrimination. So I put it into a handout that you can grab out of my downloads, link below. The 11 items that she described are: number one, review the job descriptions, remove any unnecessary career requirements. Well, that's a no-brainer. We should have never had that there to begin with. Number two, audit your hiring materials. Evaluate job descriptions, interview questions, and preferences for any type of bias. Number three, standardize your interview questions. I've been saying this for eons. Use consistent interview questions from candidate A, B, and C for similar jobs, and eliminate any unnecessary subjective questions. Number four, reform internal hiring and promotion processes. Remove any unnecessary formalities. Post internal jobs transparently so everybody knows that there's an opening and they just don't happen to see it on Indeed or LinkedIn. Consider an opt-out promotion method instead of forcing people to take jobs because they got promoted by their manager and they didn't really want that promotion. Number five, standardized sponsorship programs. So replace exclusive mentorships or sponsorship networks with programs that are open to everybody, all your employees, without, restrictions on race, for example, or sex or gender. Number six is to make sure you expand leadership development. So offer leadership training, and by leadership, I don't necessarily mean management training. So offer leadership training broadly to all employees instead of restricting access. Anybody can lead from any role. They don't need to have an executive, director, or management title on their business card. Number seven is support first-generation professionals. Provide training and mentorship for first-generation professionals or college graduates so that you can help promote social mobility. Number eight is conduct privilege audits. Identify and address workplace discrimination, harassment, and any systematic barriers that may exist. Number nine is expand your recruiting efforts. So use diverse recruiting methods such as wide format job postings, put them in places you don't normally put your job postings, multilingual applications, alternate literacy requirements. So make sure, going back to the first one, making sure your job ad and your job description is relevant, that you don't have anything in there in the job description and therefore the job ad and the interview questions that doesn't really matter and it's not relevant for the job. And number 10 is apply job requirements, the changes equally. So, for example, if you're lowering a GPA cutoff or other requirements, make sure that the changes apply to all applicants, not just a specific group of applicants based on their personal characteristics. And number 11 is fix workaholic culture in leadership. Address leadership cultures that disproportionately harm caregivers and those with additional family responsibilities, ensuring that work-life balance is valued. I hope this has been helpful. I do have a training on my website, linked below, regarding DEI in 2025 and beyond. I encourage you to check that out. And I also encourage you to connect with me on LinkedIn, because this is an ongoing topic of diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, accessibility, you name it, and new things are coming out every single day. Take care. Wendy Sellers, the HR Lady.